Right there. There you go. One more. I don't care. There's not a 145-pounder that walks that will take that if it hits flush. You know, it's called the sweet science. It's about outsmarting your opponent. And, you know, I can't play chess. My brother is a whiz at it. But this here is a 600-mile-an-hour chess game. It's click, 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 checkmate. It's over.
I met Skeet like 2006 at my first amateur boxing match. It was held in Burlington, Vermont at the Memorial Auditorium. I recognized him up on the stage where all of our fighters and coaches were getting ready, and I introduced myself, and I can remember the conversation just like it was yesterday. He spoke of my grandfather. He used to come up here and fish as a child, and my grandfather always was good to him and his friends, and it was a good conversation. It was like a warm welcoming, you know, into the boxing community for him and I meeting each other. I knew at that point, like, you know, this is going to be a friend of mine for as long as I'm around the boxing world. I had no idea at that point, you know, him and I were going to end up joining the team together, you know what I mean? But I knew he was a good guy. I definitely got a good vibe.
And so, you know, the first night Bernie came through the door belonging to Wyman's Boxing Club, we started right in. And I started, in my opinion, working on his imperfections. Wow, we tore Mr. Berry down, and we started over. And it's not that I know everything about boxing, but I've got a certain way that I like to teach my students, you know, and young athletes, and that's what we did. And Brandon, you know, he's an intelligent young man. 3 punches, 2 or 3 punches, get the half away from him. But just right there, he's going to throw it, and when he does, you're just going to time it. Pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Not just continuously that, because the pushing he'll catch on, but when you go to get started, that's what I want you to do. Concentrate on that. Just pop, pop, pop.
Trying not to chase him, trying to
Yep.
sit back away.
Yep. Come back away, go to right, make him come to you, and you settle down, and really work on it.
Yeah.
You know, along
I feel
with
like an
that.
idiot if I wait 10 seconds. And he doesn't
No,
come.
but don't. It's about the W.
A relationship, like a positive relationship between a fighter and his trainer, I think is, you know, the pure definition of what Skeet and I have. You know, it goes so much beyond boxing. You know, I go to his gym 3 days a week, but he's in my life 7 days a week. It isn't just show up to basketball practice and when the season's over we don't talk. I mean, it's not like that with him and I. You know, I've paid my dues. I've been going there consistently for 4.5 years now without ever taking any type of a break. Or our relationship is a lot like family. You know.
And people like Brandon Berry, I mean, what a person to be able to look up to. Look what Brandon's done and accomplished. You know, I mean, look at the sacrifices that he makes weekly, and you know his journey. You know, and I know people probably get sick of hearing it, but over 700 miles. I mean, that's a story in its own. How many athletes in this country, anywhere, do that? He drives from the West Forks, which is 126 miles one direction, here, 3 nights a week, and sometimes 4, depending on, you know, what we're doing. And I mean, you know, if it's snowing and slippery, you know, I make them stay home. You know, it's just, you don't do it. But, you know, we've said it and we joke about it, you know, and it's really not something to joke about. I'm more worried about Brandon getting into a traffic accident, an automobile accident, hitting a moose, than I am when he climbs through the ropes in a boxing match. And that's the truth. Because he's not, you can never be prepared, you know, for a moose running out in front of you. When Brandon Berry gets in this ring, he's prepared. It was my intent to become a professional fighter. You know, I ended up with an amateur record of 22-2. It was crazy. I was scheduled to fight Joe LaRue, who had given me one of my toughest matches, you know, in my career, but he was also a weight class above me. So we was going to fight him in his hometown at the Laconia Ice Arena. So I got up that morning, me and a couple of friends went bird hunting to take my mind off things. We'd planned the trip, and we would have left out of here, you know, at 1 o'clock. Well, needless to say, at about 11:30 we sat down to take a rest, and when we got up from the rest, my shotgun discharge taking my right arm off. And that was the end of my boxing career, for me, as a boxer. But 3 days later, when I woke up, I was very excited to be alive, because I thought I was done, for sure, when everything went down.
It doesn't present any challenges to me. My hat's off to the man for, I mean, he works twice as hard as the average man with no disability. I mean, I don't look at it, I hate even saying the word disability, because I don't look at it like that with him at all. So I almost feel wrong saying that. I don't even recognize it. The man walks circles around 99% of the people I know, so he's a man for the job when it comes to anything as far as boxing goes. I mean, it doesn't slow us down in the least bit. A lot of people will say, you know, one thing that always comes to mind with people, I think, is, you know, how do you guys do the pads? You know, most guys, you know, you buy a set of pads, there's 2 pads. And I've always said, you know, realistically, it's more of like an actual fight when I'm doing the Skeet with 1 pad. I mean, who has 2 heads in a fight? There's no such thing. I mean, he makes it very realistic, and I don't know if he's never had to speed it up for me. I mean, like, I'm always trying to catch his hands. He's fast when it goes to the pad. So no, I think that's a benefit. And I mean, how am I going to go to the gym and complain about something when he's there and not complaining about what's going on? You know, it's definitely, I think it's all beneficial.
I don't think there's a challenge, and this might sound funny, but maybe it's an advantage, because all I can do is jab, and without a jab, you're not a boxer. And Brandon didn't have a jab when he came here. Brandon relied on trying to knock someone out, to punch. He was so eager to throw that right hand, which is the worst mistake in the world. You know, you've got to jab all the time, but it's boom, boom, jab, jab, 1, 2, 2 hook. Nice, nice, that's nice. 2 uppercut. Again. Nice. Jab. 3 going away.
Never did that either.
Jab. You didn't have to. You did everything perfect. Like when Brandon came here, he was just a wealth of knowledge. He'd been watching boxing his whole life. His brother boxed. You know, his brother actually is the one that got him into it. You know, he had, you know, people that he looked up to in the boxing world. And here's a kid that, you know, when he's telling something, and I didn't in the beginning, because, like I said, I've had so many, I want to do this, I want to do that. And there's always hope that, hey, maybe this is the one. Maybe they really do. But you could tell with Brandon in a very short time, he was the one. You know, but I had, honestly, and he'll tell you, I had to build his confidence in himself, because I could see what he was capable of doing, you know, if he indeed he was willing to allow himself to do it. And as physical as this sport might be, it's probably at best 25% physical and 75% mental. And without that mental capacity, you will never be a boxer or a real good professional athlete. No matter what sport it is, it doesn't matter. You need that mental capacity, and Brandon has it.
Brendan Berry. $141.3.
It's all about putting it on him now, kid. The small town atmosphere, the support that I get, my family, the store, my family store, you know, the way the economy is, people struggling, I want to make it, man. That's my motivation, the support. It's tough seeing the store struggle the way it is, the economy. You know, I would like to be able to think that maybe with this sport I could, you know, help out the family business a little bit and get it back on track. You know, we need a lot of updates and everything, and if that can happen, that would be great. You know, that's definitely in my mind. It's unbelievable to see how people react to a small town guy trying to make big things happen, and they are just there behind me. I mean, there's been so many workouts, man, where I get tired and I just start thinking about these people, and it's just like, I can't slow down, man. I can't stop. I can't take a break. These people, as weird as it may sound, they're counting on me for something. I don't know what, you know, I mean, I don't know what they get out of it, but I sure get something out of it.
You know, I think, you know, it's been his family's life. His grandfather started it, his dad's been in it, and, you know, he works in it. And I think the store, it's incredibly important for him. And I don't think his issue is to make it big and leave. I think if he did have to travel and go other places, you know, I think he'll always be involved in the store. Oh, you got to have it. I mean, you couldn't, I don't think the community, it would be greatly disadvantaged without the store. And, you know, and business has been slow for everybody. Tourism's been off a little bit, and I think everybody's seeing a little downturn. And you know, he does a lot of that rafting business when it comes through too. But community has to have a general store. Absolutely has to.
We're all pretty excited, and we think that he's going to be absolutely fine.
And if you could whisper something into his ear just before he stepped into the ring, what would it be?
A very simple go for it, and I know you will.
Great.
That's his nature.
I know, because he did. I'll put it in. The first round was way too close, Brandon.
Yeah, no, we'll pick it up.
Okay.
I'm very, very surprised with how calm he stayed.
Yeah.
The first round away.
Okay.
Gave it away. Right to the body, Brandon. Right to the body, Brandon. Body, body, body.
You're waiting, Brand. Push him, Brandon. Punch, Brandon. You better win this round big. Tired?
Yeah, I got a little winded with the punches.
Okay. Give him a little drink. When you're punching, he's not running. Punch and flourish. Bang, 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 bang. Step back. Right back in. Bang, 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 bang. Because whenever you attack, he stops. You got to win this round. Big. Big. Don't be still.
Finish strong.
The whole round.
This is the final round. Be careful. Be careful.
Brandon Berry came, he told me what he wanted to do, and I'd heard it 1,000 times, but he's the real deal. And, you know, God willing, Brandon will make it.
You know, if I can wrap it up in a few words, I hope that a year from now we're going to sit here and say I'm 10-0. You know, that's the plan, 10, 11, 12-0, whatever it is. But I just want to continue to win fights.